So of course with the release of Fana, that will now extend the blue meta team even further. Obviously we know that the green meta team will be making its appearance, so it's kind of bad timing for Fana to come around. However, she's still going to be amazing for PvE. So of course with the blue meta, I'm sure you guys are aware on, you know, the build and what's going to be happening. This is essentially going to be a decent PvP blue meta team. Realistically, just, you know, replacing Yami for Fana, right? That's pretty much going to be the case right now. I mean, of course, like I said, you can resort to getting Soul in there if you don't want to apply William and get Charmy in there. Again, that's also an option. Again, it's the typical blue meta, which I'm sure most on Global are utilizing to the best and have pretty much set up nicely. So I'm just going to go back to using this team. So what I'm going to do is we're doing the gear run. Why not? See if we get lucky with some LRs. Of course, for PvP, that's also an optional team if you guys do want to use this. Well, the team that I'm using right now, this might be the best scenario if you want to. Yeah, because you've got the speed buff, you've got the counter attack, you know, you've got Lotus and Mars. Obviously, those boys are the meta combination right now. So what I will do is I will give the speed and the attack buff to Fana, and then she can essentially at this point just clean house. Hopefully. She should be able to. Although this is the highest difficulty. They've got a lot of health. I forgot. They updated it when they've got a lot of health. So they actually might survive this. But it should do a ton of damage. Beautiful. No burns? Okay, that's fine. Now keep in mind, I do have her maxed out. So I am making good use of the, was it plus 15% that I get? As long as I have 100 HP and above. Well, 100 HP basically. As long as I got full HP. So what I will do is... Actually, I don't even need to do that. We'll just do this. So yeah, obviously this team will also work nicely on the PvP side of things. And I do have lifesteal gear set on Fana. So if we just do this, there we go. And this is kind of like the premise of Fana on why she's just going to be an amazing PvE farming character, and just in general a good attacking AOE unit, of course. As of right now for Global, I think she's going to be the best one outside of obviously the combination between Lich and Raya. If we're talking about single character, then she's kind of holding her own basically. So obviously with this first attack, it's going to be more in the line of applying that burn, so that way she can capitalize on her second skill, because of course even though I do have the lifesteal gear set by defeating an enemy, because I've got the burn activated, that then also allows me to get that 50% lifestealing going on, of course. So that's going to be huge. Again, all focus fire is on Mars, so you guys can get the idea on how the blue meta is getting hugely buffed up with the release of this Fana. So it's just unfortunate that she's being released with a certain tank, which is not exactly needed. So it kind of puts her not in the best position, because she is an amazing farmer. So right now we're just gonna, I mean, there's no point doing the ult here, and then there you go, look at that, 50k, 4,200 right there. Beautiful, beautiful. So you can really make good use. Keep in mind, as I aforementioned on the build video, AOE attackers that have high amount of AOE damage and could potentially OHKO enemies, I would really consider, you know, throwing in life stealing gear set for them. Okay, so we'll do this. There we go, get the buff up. And then we'll go in with the ult. Keep in mind, I still got my full HP, which means I'm still utilizing the buff that I get on my passive. Boom, 136, beautiful. We'll take that, get the damage boost, beautiful. I mean, what I could have done is I could have made it in a way where potentially Lotus goes first, so that way I can get the incapacitate debuff on, and that way I can actually make it so that she hits pretty hard on the ultimate side of things. But that's fine, because we can still make good use of the second skill, which is going to clean up nicely. So this is going to do some beautiful damage, and this is what I love about Fana. So even if the ultimate comes in, you're still doing a great amount of damage, and then follow up that AOE second skill. It just practically killed that second skill that she has. I do actually prefer that over the ultimate. Now obviously she does have that burn meta. Obviously with Fana release, it's kind of like that slow introduction. You got Fagolion, you got SR Magna, you got SSR Leopold. Honestly, I wouldn't really concern yourself with the burn meta. If you've got lifestealing gear set on her, then that's completely fine. Just let her do her thing with the burn side of things. Again, if you do have her Greymore, then her second skill does have that 50% chance to burn. So I would say focus more on non-burn. I feel like if you do provide that support for burn, unless it's in a boss situation, because I believe in the upcoming raid boss, having Fugolion in that team is actually not bad. So if you want to utilize Fauna in that sense, you can do so. Stack up on the burn. With the life thing that she has, she'll be pretty much of a nuisance character, because she'll do damage and she'll be there for quite some time, healing herself back. So in that situation, with the upcoming raid that Clover will have, I mean, that's pretty suitable. But just in general, you know, focus more on just kind of building the team just around damage, essentially, with Fauna. You don't need to really focus on the burn side of things. It will just come along, and plus the life stealing gear set is more than enough to get the job done with her AOE, because I mean, high amount of damage attacking everyone, someone's going to get OHKO'd with the other characters providing you with support. So that's kind of like the premise of Fauna. She's just an additional blue meta character taking that AOE attacking role. So for the most part, it will honestly just replace Yami, since I believe Yami is kind of like the main attacking blue unit that people are using. So just for pure damage, then yeah, I know some people might want to keep Yami due to the more that he offers with the debuffs, so that's completely understandable. But just for raw damage, Fauna will be more optimal. And yeah, just stating the obvious again, if you've got Finral, he'll kind of squeeze in there pretty nicely. So again, that's your kind of like speed buff right there with attack buff, which is pretty nice to have. I will say, because how Fauna is kind of paper thin, I mean, you can resort to, wait, could this work? Let's have a look. So you got the resurrection. Where's William? Actually, to be honest, boys, this might be something which some people might do for PvP. Now, I'm just going to throw this out here. So when it comes to PvP, this is something that I've seen, and I just want to throw it out in there just to give you guys an idea. So like with AOE attacking characters that do high amount of damage, people support them so crazily that this is kind of like one of the builds that people tend to go with that I've seen, and that's only because their AOE attacking unit is built up so crazy that essentially they'll turn one nuke you and provide them with all the speed, all the attack buffs. Of course, William and Finral will be given that additional attack buff, stamina boost from Valtos to make sure that she goes first. Alongside with the other boys, they'll also provide speed boost, of course. And so with all of that speed boost and attack boost, obviously her damage output on the AoE side of things will be pretty disgusting. So this is kind of like an overall turn one nuke on a single AoE character. So Noelle will also be in this situation, of course. I just thought I'd mention it, just, you know, food for thought if anyone wants to attempt this, of course. But for the most part, you're going to keep with your blue meta, of course. Now, with the introduction of... Nah, you know what, you can't really combat against Lich and Raya, because obviously I've done a video on those boys, the green meta. So, as I've aforementioned, it's just kind of terrible timing for Fauna to come around. Now, if you want to, if you would like to, this is pretty much a turn 1 GG. Speed boost, combination attack, AoE ultimate, and then you can resort to using AoE ultimate or second skill, whichever one. It really is up to you. This right here is like AoE GG, see you later. So the Eye of the Midnight Suns, the 3 attacking characters, can combine into one to absolutely neutralize the enemy team. Again, if you want to put this as a defense team, you're more than welcome to. You just have to stack up on the speed bonus, so that way you're getting in turn 1. You can't let the enemy get an opportunity to get in there within, I don't know, from Valtos to Raya, right? You can't, there's no gaps. They have to be consecutive, like one after another, which is possible. Just have to feed up that speed gear. It's doable, it's possible. So PvP, things are going to change up. Right now, we've got Mars, we've got Lotus and whatnot. Things are going to change up when this team comes about. The tank, at the very least, might survive. I mean, that's kind of stating the obvious. But with them being on their own, what can they do? They're just going to be bombarded with crit rate, crit damage, all that shenanigans. So, yeah, there we go. That's something. But, I mean, I'm sure we're all aware how Fauna's going to be utilized. She is the blue meta. The blue meta has been on global since day 1. So, again, she's just feeding into the attacking role. Pretty simple. However, with the release on Lich and Fauna, it does kind of put her in a dangerous position. However, it also shakes things up on how PvP is going to be. And on top of that, PvE wise, she's going to be an amazing farmer, high damage AoE dealer, and she is usable in boss situations. I'm not going to say she's not, she is. But yeah, things are going to shift up. But there we go, that's just some of the team comps that I just kind of want to go through, give you guys ideas on. And yeah, just put respect on Fauna's name. She is the first high damage AoE character in the game. Correct me if I'm wrong on that one. Yeah, no, I think I'm right. Yeah, either way, she does high damage AoE wise. Perfect.